Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. I am your host, Michael Karvelis, and this is Daily Dive. It is Wednesday, December 31st, 2025. This show begins now. I was a little late on the drum roll, so I'll have to make sure the guy who does that kind of times up with me next time, Thank you, Mr. Drummer. We are live streaming via the airwaves of North American Talk Radio on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel for other great shows and live sports, including a college basketball doubleheader this weekend, both men's and women's hoops. So be sure to subscribe. And if you want exclusive content, especially from Daily Dive, you can pay $1.99 USD a month. We're having more watch parties probably next weekend. I know that was a big success in the first one that we did publicly, so we'll try to do some more stuff. And again, I might break some news using that platform as well. On today's awesome show, I'm going to talk about Max Adler joining the Vancouver Warriors, why he might have done so now after a little bit of a break from lacrosse, and did Kermalowski just tell us that faceoffs matter? Which team won the Jack Hanna trade? There's a Twitter poll up via Daily Dive LAX, and currently it has 39 votes. I'll get to who's winning that with 20 hours left to vote on that, and I'll tell you my thoughts on the team that won the deal. And finally, my NLL power rankings following week number 5, heading in to week number 6. Before we get started, I want to let you know that this show is presented by the ticketing platform at natalkradio.com. Head over to the North American Talk Radio website, tap that or click that tab, Event Tickets, and there you will be taken to Vivid Seats. I keep messing that up, where you can type in your favorites or local National Lacrosse League team or just sporting event, theater event, concert events in your area. It helps us out, and we appreciate you. I want to play a video that is now on our social media pages, and if you have not seen it, I will show it now. Again, this is via Daily Dive LAX, but I thought we would save this for now because the Oshawa Firewolves play a game this weekend. Tomorrow, we will create the narrative with the Oshawa and Ottawa game. But here's a video that is up now. It's Captain asking Glenn Clark, the head coach and GM of the Firewolves, about the team and their attendance, especially after a teddy bear toss on December 19th.
Lighter note, 4,500 fans here tonight in a pretty big teddy bear toss. Waited a little bit longer than they expected, but how did that make the boys feel, seeing the fans kind of stay loud till the end and support all the way through?
Yeah, I mean it's great for a lot of things. It's certainly great for the players, but it's great for the community too. I mean, there is that excitement. We didn't give them the result they wanted to, but the game is compelling. The game is fast. The game is exciting. The game is entertaining. So you're never coming away from an NLL game not entertained and not excited. And it was a good lacrosse game. And we ultimately didn't find success, but I think the community support is going to be great. And we're in this for a long build. So 2 games does not an imprint make. So it's been a good start, and we want to just keep building.
Thank you again to Captain for getting that footage from us, and that was Captain asking the question about a teddy bear toss and the fans in the barn. Obviously, Oshawa's had a struggling offense to start the season, but the fans have shown up in both of their home games thus far. Captain will next be boots on the ground in Oshawa. Very soon, we will announce when that next thing is for him. We appreciate him for helping out our team and getting us that extra content. Now let's talk about Max Adler. The face-off veteran is joining the Vancouver Warriors. In fact, Dave Buchanan, who is usually the Buffalo Bandits reporter, did say on Twitter after Dawson Nielsen reported this yesterday at about 11:39 in the morning Eastern time, Dave Buchanan quoted that, saying that Kurt Malosky has lured Max Adler out of semi-retirement. Max was living in Connecticut while working for ESPN. That's where ESPN is located. The mothership is up there in Bristol, I believe. Dave Buchanan says, but recently Max Adler relocated to California, which makes playing for Vancouver easier. Dave says, I believe the travel schedule was difficult for him for Friday games when he was with the Bandits. So again, that was Dawson Nielsen first reporting it, and then Max Adler and Dave Buchanan providing some clarity on the ESPN situation. I had heard similar. It's good to hear more people talk about that and kind of confirm what the rumblings were. So, of course, apparently Max Adler has a really cool job at ESPN, which is awesome for him. He is a big box lacrosse advocate, which is awesome. He's only 31 years old, despite last playing in the league in 2023. He's only got 27 games under his belt, but in those games in 2022, in 9 games, he was 39% in 241 attempts. And then in 2023, 18 games, he was 50.7% over 460 attempts. Now, the one-time champion obviously is not the best face-off guy, but is he better than what Vancouver has now? Well, let's take a look at those stats right now. Currently, through 67 face-off attempts, the Vancouver Warriors have 16 wins, or about 24%. That according to NLLstats.com. The players taking the most right now, Tyler Garrison has gone 8 of 34. They have tried Owen Grant, who went a surprising 5 of 18. And of course, Reese Callies went 1 of 8. Steph Charbonneau went 2 of 7. And that's how they've gotten to this point. But obviously, there is not one guy on the dot. Obviously, Reese Callies and others are, Owen Grant, are transition/defenders. Having a face-off guy like a Jake Nasu who can play and then get off would be great. Not saying Adler cannot be capable of anything else. I, off the top, do not know that specifically, but I will say he's got to be better than 24%. But do not let this news fool you into letting us brush over the fact the Vancouver Warriors head coach and GM Kurt Malosky just admitted to us face-offs matter a little bit, right? Come on. We know that Pat Gregoire, I believe others have said this too. It might have been Pat first, but someone first said certain face-offs matter or something along those lines. All face-offs are not created equal. So that matters. And in a game for Vancouver, now, upcoming schedule for them, I think even with losing face-offs at Calgary, versus San Diego, at Ottawa, probably 3 winnable games. But at Rochester versus Rochester, at Saskatchewan versus Buffalo, at Las Vegas, that's a juggernaut 5 games right after this 3-game stint. And we know that no game in the National Lacrosse League is easy, but that is not to say that Vancouver could use a face-off guy, because they obviously could. Now, another thing about this that I think is very intriguing and is a tad bit underrated about the story. Now, granted, there has not been much discussion on this in general because the fact the NLL does not have daily shows besides myself, and other podcasts have not gotten to this yet. But the underrated story of this still is going to be the fact, is Alex Stathakis more hurt than we thought. Now, this could go both ways. Part of this reasoning is, Max Adler comes in. Why would he only sign for 4 or 5 games? Because the general consensus seems to be, among other people, that Stavridis will come back in the next month or so, hopefully. But if that's not the case, it makes sense bringing in Adler. Another thing, though, if Adler is on the West Coast, and if obviously he's not replacing Stavridis, is he going to make a run at more NLL games? Obviously, San Diego has their guy. Vegas seems to have their guy in Tyrell Hammer-Jackson. But is there someone he could play for? Well, it's interesting. I know Colorado has Matthew Pilato. Like, Calgary's got Ignacio. The Rush have Naso. So it's like, if he's only on the West Coast, are we doing a Mitch DeSnoo only playing a certain amount of games? Are we making an NLL comeback, or is Stavridis out longer than we thought? So many thoughts going through my brain, and I know other people's brain as well. I thought I'd talk about it. But again, the biggest story of all of this is Kurt Malosky could not get through the next 5 or how many other games it is with only winning 24%. And what's funny about that, I actually thought that winning 24% was not the worst thing in the world. Like, I was expecting like 15% or less. 24 is kind of like, okay, we're getting stopped in the dots, but we're winning a few of them. I don't know, man. Or maybe Malosky realizes every team's getting a face-off guy now. That could also be a big decision maker. Again, shout out to Max Adler. Welcome back, sir. I don't know if he'll be dominant because he has not been historically dominant, and now the face-off guys have gotten better. We'll have to see. But good for Adler. Good for Malosky for being humble. And I'm excited to see where this goes. And get well soon, Alex Stavridis. That dude is awesome. When we come back to today's show, I'm going to get to a Twitter poll that has 39 votes and counting about who won the Jack Hanna trade. And then I'll talk about it myself, and I'll give a percentage of it as well. Let's break it down next. You're watching Daily Dive. Don't go anywhere. I know you won't.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
BetUS and North American Talk Radio have partnered to bring you the preferred betting platform in the United States, and you will get a deposit bonus of up to 150% if you use promo code 120Z. Take it from me, I'm a cowboy and a gambler. I wrangle my bets on BetUS, and I use the promo code 120Z to get free money. Yee-haw! That's BetUS and promo code 120Z. Now giddy up.
You know, I've done it more than I like to admit on this show, but welcome back to Daily Dive. I'm your host, Michael Karvelis. It is Wednesday, December 31st, 2025. You are watching Daily Dive, the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. Now, here is the thing right now. We just talked about Max Adler joining Vancouver after they have had a 24% at the dot success rate so far. Not good enough for Malowski. Also, is Adler going to make an NLL comeback? His staff gets more hurt than we thought. So many questions, but a good story overall. Now we're going to talk about Jack Hanna and who won that trade. And stay tuned, of course, for my NLL Power Rankings. So as we know, I did report that the Colorado Mammoth were acquiring Jack Hanna. More on that in another show later on today. That being said, we have to talk about now who won the trade. And guys, I'll admit it. Obviously, the answer here is, well, in 5 years we'll find out. Boo! Blah! That would be so boring. If that was the case, there'd be no need for a daily show, which means I could not do my part in growing the NLL. But thankfully I'm here. There should be more daily shows. There's not. So we're the only ones we're going to talk about here. Who won the Jack Hanna trade? Now, currently, I have a poll on Twitter /X at Dilly.LAX if you want to check that out right now. Which team won the Jack Hanna trade? Obviously, I'll throw it on the screen here with this. The Mammoth got Jack Hanna. I spelled it Jack Hanna. Unbelievable. Desert Dogs got a 2026 first round composite compensant. I hate that. Comp pick. 2027 first rounder. So that's 2 first rounders. And a 2028 second rounder. Now, currently, of the 39 votes, 56% of people believe Vegas won the trade. Now, I will say this. I gotta give you guys credit. I was expecting people, because a lot of sports fans, if you throw up a trade like this for a top 25 player, I mean, just do the equivalent of this trade. It's like, oh, the team that got the player won the trade. I don't know, though. And it's funny that 56% of you believe Vegas won the trade, because my number is, I would go 60% Las Vegas. It's funny how that works. It looks like NLL fans are pretty smart. Now, obviously, the winner of this trade between the Mammoth and the Desert Dogs was neither, and it was Denver fans, because he lives in Denver, doing great community work in Denver, and of course, he gets to play at Ball Arena. But again, that's not very entertaining stuff here. So, and I pride myself on being correct. So let's talk about it here. Shout out to the Rocky Mountain Raptors, and shout out to the Mammoth fans who average 11,000 plus despite a recent fall off in attendance over the past few years. But my question is, because I've said it before that Jack Hanna has a very high ceiling. But then I thought about, what does that actually mean? And I want to compare him to Jeff Teat, and I know some people might not like this. But folks, we're going to do it anyways, because I think it matters in this conversation. So Jack Hanna was a young player with a bunch of potential, very talented player on a bad team. And Jack Hanna, in his career, let's look back at it real quick. I don't know why I did not pull this up before, but Jack Hanna with Las Vegas in 2023, 64 points. 2024, 76 points. 2025, 82 points. Now, I want to compare him to Jeff Teat. And you're like, well, Michael, that seems very odd. It seems unfair. I don't think so. Jeff Teat, year 1 with the Riptide, in just 16 games. Maybe in the amount the season was played. Who cares? 108 points. Year 2, 136, 131, 111. And you're like, Michael, he's not Jeff Teat. Exactly. Because Jeff Teat on a bad team was doing that. Folks, Jack Hanna has never had a great roster around himself. He has not had a bunch of offensive guys stealing the power or the thunder. So, and this is no shot at Jack Hanna. I've told you guys before, I've said nothing but positive things about Jack Hanna, that he's a really great player. But again, his ceiling, now that I think about it, might be, and this is good, a few 110-point seasons. I don't know if in the best case scenario, Jack Hanna goes above that. When I say 110, I mean that is the ceiling for a few years. I don't think we'll see 130 and 140. I don't. He is a very awesome popcorn player, I call it, where he puts butts in seats. He makes ridiculous plays that no one else can make. But consistently as a playmaker, which you have to be in box lacrosse, my playmaker, I mean passing, holding the ball, getting by guys, and shooting all in one package, Jack Hanna might not be that guy. Again, he is uber talented. He is a ridiculous athlete. But I do think that Jack Hanna peaks as he's a top 25 player in the league, maybe top 15, I don't know. But I think he peaks as a top 10 player, close to top 5. But I don't think he'll ever be a top 5 player. And I've heard people on other shows say that he is. But I ask you, show me that. Because I have not seen it. Again, I am fine with the top plays. Brandon O'Neill does that. I am fine seeing like the fun goals and other stuff like that. I'm fine with him being in Denver. I think being with Andrew Q and Eli McLaughlin when he comes back, Ryan Lee, Will Malcolm, that helps him. But his ceiling is probably 2 first-rounders and a second-rounder. Because I think a lot of people were, like even myself, were thinking right off the bat, oh yeah, a couple of first defender, whatever. Like, and then you're like, wait a minute. It's interesting because remember, it's not in spite, because of the reality of his life, he put Vegas in a tough spot. And that tough spot was, I want to go to Denver and I want to be a Mammoth player. I'm not playing for you, Desert Dogs, but thank you for everything. So when you put that on the record and you're like Vegas is like this, or they're strapped to a wall, they are tied behind their back with their hands, and yet you still get 2 first-rounders and a second-rounder. It's very impressive. And I'm also probably talking myself into more than 60%, but I'll leave it at that for now. I do also think a lot of people are going to say, well, he puts them up, Colorado over the top. You know what? Maybe. But I don't think that matters. I feel like Colorado is always going to be competitive with Dylan Wardenette and with the cast they already had. While he may put them over the top, it still is like, that's just based on the circumstances of the team that he's with. But I don't think that plays a factor in who won the trade. I ask you, does it play a factor for you? But for me, it does not. And I also wonder, what is that pick in 2027 going to be? Like 2026, it might, there's only 14 teams, and a compensatory pick, or compensatory, however you say that, compensatory pick. There we go. I said that out loud. I had to work through it. That pick is like number 15. So that's already a low first rounder. Good player, fine. Decent player, hopefully if you draft well. And then next year's pick, 2027, if, let's say the Mammoth missed the playoffs, I don't think Colorado, again, with Dylan Ward, Coach Pat Coyle, the offense they have, they're not good. They're looking like the 9 or 10 seed. But again, that gets them like the 4th or 5th pick probably, right? Which is crazy when you think about that. But the 2027 pick is the big deal here. So let's do the math on those picks. Let's say the 15th overall pick in 2026, we're around that area. A top 5 at best pick, and I mean the 4th pick at best in 2027, that probably equals Jack Hanna, maybe a little bit more. Because remember, the same team drafted Adam Patra. And if you can get a guy like this a little bit better than Patra, who's awesome, by the way, it's probably like Jack Hanna. Add a second rounder, add the fact that they had to trade him to Colorado, it seems like Vegas won the trade. So that's where I'm going with. Again, I'm talking myself. I went through this last night. I said 60%. I might go like 75% Vegas. And again, I know I started the segment with, it will take 5 years to figure it out. I don't know. I don't think Colorado or Vegas has to win a championship for us to figure it out. So, how and where do you think Jack Hanna's ceiling is? Is it over 110 points? I think it's going to be that for a couple of years at best. Still is a great player. Still is a great player to watch. Cole Johnson, who I've not seen comment before. Hello, sir. I feel like Jack Hanna will have similar production and points as Tom Schreiber has had. Let's look at that, by the way. I know that we're comparing Americans here probably, just for the record. I just want to make sure we're doing this correctly. Oh, that's good. 94, 64, 94, 116. You know what's funny? On that team, I actually like that. I think 90 points, maybe 100 is right where we're getting with Jack Hanna. So again, I think Vegas won the trade. But yeah, no, that's a good point. Robert says they both got what they wanted. Oh, absolutely. Again, I do think in terms of we knew what had to happen here, absolutely, Vegas and Colorado both got what they wanted. But I do think in the end, 2 firsts and a second rounder with the circumstances, Vegas won the trade. So now I'm talking to myself, is it more even? I don't know. But again, thanks for the commenters. I think that helped the conversation out a little bit more. I like hearing other opinions. Again, 56% of people that voted say it's Las Vegas. But I know I have a few media people that are also voting on that. So like, I want more fans to vote on this, and I want to see in 20 hours what it looks like. We may revisit this briefly tomorrow. Fun stuff though, and good. Like I said, good for Jack Hanna, good for Sean Williams, good for Pat Coyle. Everyone's happy. I just think Vegas will be a little bit happier. All right, folks, we come back to this awesome show. I'm unveiling my Week 5 power rankings heading into Week 6. Don't go anywhere. Not much has changed, but enough has changed. You're watching Daily Dive on North American Talk Radio's YouTube channel.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
BetUS and North American Talk Radio have partnered to bring you the preferred betting platform in the United States, and you will get a deposit bonus of up to 150% if you use promo code 120Z. Take it from me, I'm a cowboy and a gambler. I wrangle my bets on BetUS, and I use the promo code 120Z to get free money. Yee-haw! That's BetUS and promo code 120Z. Now giddy up.
Welcome back to Daily Dive. I am your host, Michael Karvelis. It is Wednesday, December 31st, 2025. Hey, last day of 2025. Happy days, my friends. On today's show so far, we have talked about Max Adler joining Vancouver after they have started with a 24% success rate at the faceoff dot. Malofsky said faceoffs matter, and good for Adler joining or rejoining the NLL. His Stathik is hurt. How hurt is he? We'll have to see. Who won the Jack Hanna trade? I kind of talked myself into 75% Las Vegas after originally saying 60%. Our Twitter poll is at 56% Las Vegas And again, shout out to the NLL fans who appear pretty smart. It's not just, oh, the team got the star player. So good for y'all for context. And finally, let's get into my NLL power rankings. Now, these are not the standings, so be careful with how we criticize things here. Rochester has only played 2 games. Saskatchewan is 3-1. But let's talk about my power rankings. Let's do 9 through 14 first, and here they are. Again, following week 5. Ottawa, Philadelphia, and Calgary stay put. Obviously, Philadelphia lost to Ottawa. Ottawa's win over Philadelphia doesn't move me, especially the fact the Wings came back. Good for the Black Bears for going on more runs, but that's a scary Ottawa offense because when it's awesome, it's scary. When it's bad, it's scary. So it's scary team over there in Ottawa. Seals fall to number 11, despite not playing, but they'll have a chance this week to redeem themselves. Number 10, Vegas after a win over Toronto. I think that the travel issues affected things. Nick Rose not starting was very odd. I don't know how much the team knew about that before we got it 35 minutes before the game starts. But Vegas moves up, and I still have to see just a tiny bit more. But once they pile wins, we'll see what they do in my standings or my rankings. Power rating, blah. Number 9, Colorado Mammoth drops to number 9. I know 3 goals against Georgia is probably not the best look, but I will say this caveat, and it's no excuse. As Pat Gregoire said on Monday's show, this is the National Lacrosse League. 3 goals is 3 goals is 3 goals, but no Andrew Q, still no Eli McLaughlin. Jack Hanna's joining the team. I want to see a full strength or close to full strength Colorado Mammoth team. We have not gotten that, and we'll have to see what happens with this team. Now let's go to my 1 through 8, and here they are. Before we do that, though, this show is presented by, or this segment is presented by, the mug. Specifically the Box Lacrosse Time mug and the merchandise line at our store. Head to dailydivelacks.creator-spring.com or click our pinned tweets or our Instagram bio links on Daily Dive LAX. But again, Box Lacrosse Time mug and a Box Lacrosse Time shirt. We thank you. Here is 1 through 8, and there it is. Buffalo stays number 1. You beat Calgary in Calgary. You flex your muscles leg. Good for you. Vancouver didn't play. Good for y'all. Rochester didn't play. Good for y'all. Saskatchewan got a win over Halifax. They stay over Halifax, but they're still a little bit inconsistent. Part of me, I should have put Rochester below Saskatchewan. I'll live with it now. But if Rochester wins this weekend, I feel better about this. But I have a take on Rochester probably on tomorrow's show. Thunderbirds stay at 5 despite a loss. Georgia does move up 1 spot, beating up an interesting Colorado team. Defense has been good for Georgia. They're now 2-2. Toronto does fall to number 7 with the weird loss to Las Vegas. Oshawa actually jumps up to number 8. I still think Oshawa's defense is awesome. Like, I know last year the team started like 1-5, and we're like, oh, when are they going to figure it out? They never did. Their defense was not this good. So when they play Ottawa this weekend in Oshawa, we'll see what happens. So again, there's 1 through 8. There's 9 through 14. That's the show. Couple comments here. The Mimico Trike says, one thing that isn't talked about but is very evident, a change in coaching is needed. Rusty Kruger was a scapegoat, not taking anything away from Sawyer, as he is a good coach. He's referring to the Toronto Rock there. Interesting stuff there. His message has obviously gotten old. I agree with that. I think Toronto Rock, I think it's funny because other people have brought this up. I have too. Coaches in the NLL have a very long leash. I know the fact they're former players, lacrosse people are all buddies. It's just the way the life is. I'm not criticizing it. It does look weird, especially as new fans get onto the sport. It's like, man, Do they ever fire these coaches? See Micah Kersey, see Ed Cuomo with Georgia. Not saying those guys are not good coaches. See Matt Sawyer with Toronto. Not saying those guys are not good coaches, but it is very odd how long of a leash they have. I wonder if there's also not a lot of coaching candidates. Like Dan Ladouceur, love the guy, lasted forever in Long Island and Ottawa. But good for Dan McCray, by the way. Cole chimes back in. Do they change? No, I don't know about the NHL. I think NHL fires people more frequently. Again, the more money and fans involved. It's people always say that the fans do not matter. When you realize the NLL has the, I don't want to say least, but lower amount of fans compared to the other sports, you realize there's not as much public pressure. And I think that matters. I think it's more of like, if you fill the barn, it feels like you're doing pretty good regardless. So it's very interesting. I'll put it this way. And again, I'm not trying to make this an anti-Toronto Rock segment. It's odd to me seeing the fact that the Toronto Rock had a healthy, great roster for years. Like in 2022, I believe, when I started doing the show, like they had a great roster and they kept falling short and getting their butt kicked and choking against the Bandits. And I don't care how good the Bandits roster was, Toronto was right there with them. And they kept choking. I don't know what has to change. I don't know if it's the goalie. I don't know if it's the coach, but something has to give. A bunch of coaches or GMs. It's funny because I don't know how long it's been a thing, but I remember like a few years ago, it seemed like not as much. Like the fact that Glenn Clark and Sean Williams are still GMs despite their team's downfalls is very odd. The fact that the Wings, what was it, Paul Day, I believe, he goes from the Wings sucking to stepping into the GM role. It's bizarre to me, even though I've liked the moves that Paul Day has made. I'm just saying, it feels like people get rewarded. And again, the long leashes is a culmination of so many things, but interesting stuff in the lease. That's the show. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Tim Dillon will be here. We'll be creating the narrative. And I'm going to give a very interesting Rochester take. Don't want to miss that show tomorrow. And again, stay tuned for more guests. And of course, Friday, the preview with the best bets and pick 'em. Thanks so much for watching Daily Dive. You guys have been great. Thank you to the commenters as always. And we'll see you next time on North American Talk Radio's YouTube channel. Bye, guys. This has been Daily Dive. You knew that? Okay. Bye.